Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to have a little look at turning no's into yeses. So from my own interpretation, when we want to turn a no into a yes, it is always going to come down to our attitude. Now our attitude is going to show up in a way that we are responding in the moment, and usually this is going to come down to how, not even your confidence, but more to do with how self-regulated your body is, your nervous system is. The reason why I say this is because your body responds in a way that is either going to accept that no in a negative way, and you're going to feel it in your body. So once you start to get that feeling, that gut feeling in your body, all of a sudden then the doubts come in. It's like the body just hits the mind and the doubts come in. But if your body is regulated in such a way over time, you're not going to be accepting that no as final. So this is why we do our affirmations obviously on repetition. However, from my own interpretation, the self-regulation is probably the most important thing that you could do for yourself when it comes to sustaining and maintaining the life that you want, and when it comes to altering your attitude as well too. So when you have a great self-regulated nervous system, the doubts don't come up as much either. So when I say self-regulation, I mean that you're taking a little bit of time out of your day to either do breath work or exercise or meditations, and over a period of time of doing this, it's basically like a lifestyle change. I know for me it's a lifestyle change, but it's actually one of the most profound lifestyle changes that I have made for myself, because for me, I believe this is how I have changed my whole self into a new kind of story of who I am now than who I was before self-regulation. And the reason I say this is because the way I show up now is a lot more stronger. It's a lot more belief, and it's a lot more confident in my body and in my mind. So even when I have days that I doubt, or I have days where I'm not feeling so good, I will have an emotion, maybe I cry a little bit, but because I have been doing this over a period of about 2 years now, I don't react as long. Like literally, if I have an emotion and I cry it out, it's gone within a few minutes. Now, I said before that before self-regulation, I could be somebody that would be holding on to this for a long time. So self-regulation, particularly when you want to change into a new story, into a new reality, and maintain and sustain that, is ultimately the best way to do that. Now our affirmations obviously over time as well too. I myself, how I do affirmations, that is how I change my perception and manifest the things that I want into my life. I use affirmations. I do this through SATs, which is affirmations at night that I use, and then just keeping my thoughts in an optimistic, positive favor throughout the day. And again, over time as well too, this becomes even as it becomes a habit within you, you find yourself just reverting back to the positive more and more every single day. Now, I want to bring up this topic of turning your no's into yeses, especially in a moment to moment basis. So I had the experience recently where I had to go to the dentist to get a tooth out. Now, this tooth I had been holding on to since before I even found the law of assumption. So you're talking about 3 years. And I kind of know the law of assumption about just over 2 years. So I had this tooth beforehand. The COVID came in. I ended up getting an abscess in it, so I wasn't able to get it out because the dentists weren't taking anyone because of COVID. And so after a while, the abscess went away, and I started to feel like it was better and that it was going to be okay and I wasn't going to have to take it out really. So then it was like a few months later, I went to the dentist and I was told that I would have to take it out or get a root canal. So I decided I would get it taken out. So that was like about a year and a half ago, and I was supposed to get this tooth taken out there just before Christmas, and ended up getting another abscess in it, and I missed my appointment. I wasn't able to go to my appointment, and I only have 2 appointments a year, so I go every 6 months. So this appointment that I had recently was a few weeks ago, And I went in with, obviously my body is a lot more regulated now because of over the period of time. I meditate every day, I do breath work every day, I exercise, and I do things that actually bring me back into a more calm state of being. And I really do believe that this is the ultimate way in being able to actually change your mindset in a way that you are able to change your attitude straight away. Now, I'm not knocking down anything to do with just using affirmations and not having any self-regulation at all, because obviously if you are continuing to keep your mind in a positive way, this is just the way it's going to be. But we are human and we are susceptible to having human experiences, meaning that we're going to have emotions. Our body's going to go into fight or flight survival modes at some stages because of the way that we live our life and the way that we deal with our 3D. And so it is inevitable that we're going to be experiencing emotions along the way of little bits of stress. Now, because I have self-regulated, as I say, over a period of time, I went to the dentist with the mindset that I was getting this tooth out. So I went to the dentist and I'm in the chair, and then I was someone as well too who used to not like getting my teeth cleaned because I had sensitive gums and my gums were not in a great state, which I mentioned before. And I went and I got the teeth cleaned. So he was cleaning the teeth. He had said to me that my gums have improved a lot, that there was no bleeding or anything like that. And this is like a year since I had been to the dentist. And then he did an examination, and then he did a x-ray as well too, to see if he could take the tooth out, because he had said to me that it's been 3 years since he actually had taken an x-ray on this tooth, and maybe he wasn't going to be able to take it out, and then I'd have to go somewhere else. So as soon as he said that to me, I was in the chair, and this is how your mindset becomes a lot more stronger in trust in yourself and trust in your body. The more that you continue to self-regulate your body, and the more that you continue to use your affirmations. So in that moment in time, because my body wasn't as stressed as it would usually be when I go to the dentist, because I have come to a stronger mindset over a period of time, and again the self-regulation. So when anyone who goes to the dentist and gets on that chair, sometimes if you have a dislike to going to the dentist, you will feel it in your body. And this is how self-regulation comes in, because over a period of time I was sitting on that chair and I was actually relaxed. I felt nothing in my body actually at all. So he came, and when he said that he had to do the x-ray to see if he could take the tooth out, in my mind I was like, I'm taking it, this tooth is coming out today, this tooth is coming out today. So he did the x-ray and it came back, and sure enough he said that he didn't have to send me anywhere, that it hadn't deteriorated as much as he thought, and that he would be able to take it out. But he wanted to take me back another day, because I think he thought that I was in the chair for about half an hour already. I already had an examination and a tooth clean, and I think he just wanted to bring me back then in the next appointment, which would have been 6 months. But because I was feeling relaxed in my body, usually I would have been someone who would have been like, yeah, no bother, I will come back in the next appointment, because I really dislike the dentist and I just wanted to get out, because I don't like being in the chair. And I felt kind of, the way you do feel when you're just kind of feeling that you just don't want this examination and it's sensitive and all of that kind of thing. But because I was in more of a relaxed mode, this is where your circumstances change in the moment. So I didn't take what he said. He was wanting me to come back in another day. And as soon as he said that, because my body was relaxed in my behaviour, unconsciously, I just said it out straight away. Could I take it out today? It would be okay to take it out today. Now, usually I would not even think, I would just accept what he said. And he said to me, okay, well, if you think you're ready, yeah, I'll take it out today. And this is what he did. And he took it out. And I noticed that when I came out from that appointment, that I didn't have to wait for another 6 months. But when I looked back at it, I realized that it was because I was able to keep my nervous system calm in the moment. My thoughts as well too, and this is because of the way over a period of time, when you continue to keep your thoughts in a positive manner, you start trusting in your decisions, you start trusting in your body, and you trust in yourself and the way that you show up. And so because you have this confidence and conviction and trust within yourself, you trust that the others are going to show up in the same way as well too. So rather than me, like the old me, I suppose you could say the old me now, would have just been wanting to get out of the dentist. Not, I would have left the tooth in there for another 6 months, but I really wanted to get it out, and I would have just accepted him telling me that I'd have to come back in another 6 months, and I would never have bothered of coming out, or even having the confidence to even ask him would it be okay to take it out, because I would have just took his word and said, right, okay, well, maybe I'm not ready, and then I'll come back in another 6 months. But as I say, the more you keep your thoughts optimistic, the more you self-regulate your nervous system. This is how you turn your no's into yeses in a moment-to-moment basis, because you're trusting yourself, you're trusting your decisions. It's never about anyone or anything outside of you, because anyone or anything outside of you is always going to show up in the way that you are trusting yourself and your decisions. They will conform to how you trust yourself. They will conform to how you know yourself. They will conform to the conviction that you have within yourself. Meaning that it's never even about affirming for another person. Yes, you can affirm for another person. I myself do this sometimes as well too, when maybe there's a conversation that I want to kind of change around, or a conversation that I don't want to come up again. That would be kind of when I would intend for it to be different. But as well too, you don't have, I've also had people show up with just self-concept affirmations. Now, when you are maybe manifesting for, let's say for example, you're manifesting anything, career, job, or anything, and you get these no's, and rather than feeling rejected, rather than feeling that it's impossible, you just change your attitude a bit. And this is for anyone, even if you're not even into manifestation. You change the attitude within yourself. You take a few moments to calm your nervous system. Then you come in with your affirmations and you change your whole attitude, and this is how you're rewiring the whole neurons in your brain. Also as well too, you are teaching your body that this is not the environment for you. So the more you continue to teach your body that you are this new person, you're in this new environment, your body's going to unconsciously show up in as this new person in this new environment. So when you are someone who is faced with no's, know that they are not permanent, because they're not. You can change them, and it can be an energy thing as well too, because we're all energetic beings, so we're all picking up on everybody's energy. And maybe if I had said to the dentist, is it okay to get that tooth out now, and I was like in a ball of distress, or if I had anxiety coming out of me while I said it, he probably would have said, okay, well, maybe not today, but maybe I'm not maybe I have another appointment. Or he would have picked up on the energy of my disbelief, of my my confidence being low, having anxiety. And obviously he's not going to want to operate on me if I'm feeling that way, because he wants me to have a good procedure, and a procedure that is going to be beneficial for me. And if I'm anxious, I'm going to be moving around. Maybe he's not going to be able to give me the anesthetic the same way. And he is very professional doctor as well too, so he would have been someone who would have said to wait until I come back when I'm ready, which would have been another 6 months. So I just wanted to make a video on self-regulation being one of the most important things for turning your no's into yeses, because it's all about how you show up in a moment. And this can even, from my own interpretation, I don't think that negative thoughts matter, because the negative thoughts don't matter unless you are actually going to be persistent on the negative thoughts. But when you have negative thoughts in the moment, and your system is regulated, they dissolve straight away. You come into your confidence and the trust within yourself. So you will unconsciously be even showing up in a way that is perceived to the other. They're picking up on the energy of your confidence and the trust within yourself, rather than the negative thoughts that you might be having in that moment. Because let's face it, we're human. We're going to have little negative thoughts in the moment. But when we have a great regulated system, we're not going to feel it in the body, and so this is how it dissolves. So if the body's not feeling negative, it's not going to go into the fight or flight mode, and because it's not going into the fight or flight mode, this is how then we can change the thought in the moment, and we can say, no, that's not true. I'm doing this right. Everything is going great. Everything's working in my favor. We're going great here. Everything is continuous. I'm maintaining and sustaining everything that I want in my life. I'm thriving. everything is great. And this is what happens over a period of time. And maybe you can regulate your system with just affirmations. I don't know, but for me personally, doing activities like meditating, having a few moments just to sit down and have quiet time with yourself, and breath work and things like that, are exercise as well too, are the best ways anyway, along with your affirmations as well too, because I am someone who is an affirmer. I am always going to be an affirmer, because for me it's the thoughts that are always creating, and so the more that I can keep my thoughts optimistic on everything, then the better for me and my body as well too. So I just wanted to make a quick video on that, and I will chat to you soon.